here, your brand new driver, the Qi35. We're calling this the core model, but this bad boy definitely could be in your future. Get into this video and we're going to tell you exactly why, what type of player you might be, and why this driver covers the absolute masses. It's the Qi35 core model. It is, for my eyes, a lot bigger than the LS. So for some golfers, that is going to mean one thing and one thing only, and that is forgiveness. That is what this driver is all about. It has an extremely high MOI, which meaning you have the weight back, and you can tell that, certainly if you put the drivers down next to each other, the shape now from classic player's shape in the LS has probably gone, it's fair to say, to more modern day. I mean, this thing is very long from toe and heel back, so you do get the mass. But look, when you get your head around that, it still frames the golf ball extremely nicely. TaylorMade are conscious of that. They've gone and placed in there this black decal at the back to make it feel that it's gonna not quite look as long. But if you do look at it from a player's perspective, more thinking about it as to how the engineering has got here, it is a long driver. You've got this inertia generator, which is the bar underneath, that helps airflow over the sole of the golf club in here. You have an adjustable weight. This is a 13 in the back and a 3 at the front. That's a lot. But from a driver point of view, it actually is quite nice. Now, which players are going to play it? Well, it's going to be interesting for Nelly Korda, because this is right in her wheelhouse. She used the Max in 2024. I could see her playing this in 2025. I know at the photo shoot, that was a conversation that we were having. Now, your driver, we talked about your accuracy off the tee, is excellent. You've got the one shape where you hit the draw. You spoke on this so well last year. We've got a Max and we've got a core.
They're both really, really good. I think compared to the Qi10 with the core driver, I'm seeing a little less spin, which sometimes my miss is bottom of the face, and bottom of the face creates more spin. So when you're hitting into the wind or when you're under pressure, you know, if it spins more and it kind of floats out to the right, obviously then you're going to have a longer club in, and that's just never beneficial. So what I've noticed with these two heads is when I do miss hit it a little on the bottom of the face, it doesn't spin as much. The core definitely spins less than the Max. When it comes to look, I really like both of them. What I really like about this driver though is actually the gray face, because when it comes to playing in different type of sunlight throughout the day, you know, the glare off of just like the shiny head, you rarely ever see the tee. And for me, alignment is super important, because as I start to play more and more many weeks in a row, I start to actually aim a little bit more right. Those are my tendencies. So having the tee on top and knowing that like I'm very confident in where I'm aiming, it's pointing at my intermediate target, that's one thing that I just like don't have to worry about as much with this, actually the gray face too.
Those of you who tuned into the LS video, I felt like I needed more loft in that, but now with the center of gravity further back, it gives you that 0 CG projection. I'm going to explain more on that in a second as to what that actually means, but I can't wait any longer. I need to hit one. So a little bit low out the blade, a hair more spin, but that is what you're going to get out of this driver. But this is the 9-degree head. Now, I haven't measured the actual loft, but you could see there that there was a 90 apex on the full swing monitor. The average height I was hitting, the LS, was around about 80. So the reason it's higher is because I'm getting more spin out of it. The reason it's higher is because the weight's further back. The reason it's higher is that 0 projection CG. Again, what does that mean? Well, the center of gravity, due to the carbon crown, due to the carbon sole, weight savings. And let me tell you that the weight now goes through the loft on 0 in terms of 0 CG. So I have more room, middle bottom third of the blade and up, to give me a more efficient ball flight. So as I start to get, which in my case is a little bit steep on the golf ball, and hit down on the golf ball, this driver is going to give me more spin. So it really becomes how much do you want to help it in the air? And that's something we hear on tour all the time. Poor drivers of the golf ball tend to struggle to get driver in the air. This thing is going to be extremely easy to get in the air based on the size of the head and that 0 CG projection. So if you're a poor driver of the golf ball, if you look at stats from the tour or you look at Clipped and you see that over 100 or 112 shot quality for driving, or some of these people that are straight as an arrow on tour, 70% driving accuracy, well, you could be looking at your new driver, because this is certainly going to go straight. But also in testing, you're not losing any speed. If anything, for me, because I've been able to go down in loft versus the LS, I'm actually gaining a bit of speed. But you will need to play a different loft in this versus your LS, which comes back to the crucial factor with all drivers, and the whole purpose that you're tuned in and subscribed to this channel is because your knowledge as a player needs to be greater when it comes to getting your 2025 driver. I don't want to hear it that you didn't get dialed in, because if you get this right, then you can play a little less loft to make yourself more efficient in the Qi35. So with a premium becoming on straight distance, this is absolutely something you've got to consider. I know it's going to be something I'm going to consider more for 2025. If you were a max head and you loved that in 2024, all of a sudden, this could be the time for you to get into the Qi35. I think we'll see quite a few of these in play on tour, where players put the premium on. It's got the twist face in there. This is the 4th generation, but the premium goes on hitting the fairway now with distance. Well, the fact that you have more of an area in this face, a little higher up to hit, because the CG's been projected that it's going to help you with launch and more efficient spin, this could be you. And you don't need the ridiculous speed that's going to benefit you of the LS, and you perhaps don't have the history in the game that you're tied to these smaller pear-shaped looking drivers. That's right, this is a modern day look, and I think it could really cater for the masses. I think we'll see a lot of the boys testing this through the West Coast swing on the PGA Tour, but if you have played that max and you're looking for the upgrade, this will give you a little bit more speed than the max. So if you're starting to hit your max more consistently and find the center point, then this could be something that you have to look at in 2025. This has really got my eyes opened. I still don't know yet which way I'm going to go. Tradition would say I'd be an LS player because of the lower strike in the blade, but this is super easy to hit. I mean, even just this small window of golf shots I'm hitting now, if I get the right loft on this, I wouldn't mind seeing a few more fairways rather than getting a little bit wider in this following golf season that's to come. So I'm definitely going to spend some time embracing the size of the head, realizing that this is the way drivers are going, and benefiting from the high MOI of the Qi35. If you've got any questions, I want to know them. Dive them down in the comments below. We're going to rip a load more videos on new equipment this year and have some fun with it, I'm sure. That's the Qi35 from TaylorMade. We're going to see you down the line.